Aloha guys, this is Dr. Steve, and this is the walkthrough of the student data files for Chapter 4 of our textbook. We're dealing a lot with style sheets here. It's kind of a long chapter, so get comfortable, and here we go. So I pulled up 4.1 out of the data files. We're going to go through all of these. And looks like our Trillium Media Design page in progress. Let's take a look at our source. This one here is talking about horizontal rulers, I believe. HR, so we have our style here. Let's see if we can pump this up a little bit. Where are we at here? Okay, nothing big. Oh, here we are. Here's a horizontal ruler. So all that's doing is creating this line down here. Now, as with anything else, any other tag, we can modify this in style sheets. We can make a different color, different width, different thickness. Anything is possible. Okay, let's pull up the next one. 4.2. Borders. Okay, very similar here. You see the dashed line across here, dashed line across down here. Well, let's see how they did that. Okay, where are we? Border buyer is in the H2. So in our style sheet for H2, we say border dash bottom, colon, 2 picks, dashed, and then the color. So we can always do that. Well, here it's only the bottom that we had. If we didn't say bottom, we just had border, it'd be on all 4 sides. Okay, get the idea? And if we didn't say dash, it would be a solid line. Okay, let's look at the index here, this one. Kayak, the beginnings of a kind of boring site here. Giving us some navigation. It doesn't look particularly exciting, but let's see what the lesson is all about. Okay. Jeff, we have our nav here. Nothing in the style at all. Okay, we're not doing anything in here. I'm guessing we're going to modify this in the pages to come. It's 4.3, it's like 4.4. Same basic content, looks a little bit different. Our navigation definitely has improved. Alright, so let's check out the style here. We have just a couple of things here. We have an ID called bar, an image, we're saying border none. And on the bar, we're giving it a background color. So the bar, I'm guessing, is the navigation bar. So we need to find an ID called bar. Here's the body, the header, nav ID bar. So giving it this dark background, looks like, okay. Then the image down here, border none. Okay, pretty straightforward, but all we're doing is gaining control of how we want things to look. We want to be the puppet master, not the puppets. Okay, another image. I'm guessing this is the old-fashioned way of doing it. Tropical Island Getaway. Just a figure, given a width, straight border padding. Okay, so it fits in here. Where's the ID here? Here's the ID figure. Okay, it looks good, but we can do this a little bit in a little bit more better way when it's more current. Yeah, it kind of looks the same. Let's see what it looks like underneath. Yeah. Okay, here's our figure, and now we have something called Fig Caption. Now this is much better. This deals with HTML5 much better, so within our body. let's see. This is following best practices. So we have figure and figure. And you have our image in here with all the required attributes. Then a fig caption is inside of the figure. So that means that the fig caption will follow the image source around wherever it gets moved. That's much better in case things change later on. Okay, let's zip down to 4.7. We're putting the image on the right here. So our nav here, and another nav down at the bottom. Image on the right, that looks good. Nice fade there. Looks good, I like this. There's our bar, image, border none, the main part. We could put the background image URL, hero bag, JPEG, background repeat, no repeat. So that image must be in the background of the main. Okay, in the main. So our body, the header, there's our nav. Continues on, here's our main. And the background of the main, we have the that image, the hero back. And then the bottom has a simple nav down here. No nav bar, just nav. Okay. Let's look at that other one here that was index, and here's oh, sorry, never mind. This is for Internet Explorer, which we're not using. So it looks just fine, looks the same. 4.8. Yeah, this is IE fix. Okay, sorry, I wasn't reading. Okay, this looks good. What are we doing here? Ooh, favicon. Okay, so I didn't see that. The favicon that does is see the little image there. The favicon puts a little image you can see right up here in our tab or our bookmarks. If you want to bookmark this, then it shows up there. Favicons are very useful. I encourage you to use them, and you need to use them actually in this class. Everything else looks pretty much the same. You can go to a favicon generator and do this. It's pretty easy. I think you always want to call this thing favicon.ico icon, favorite icon, favicon. That's 4.8. Let's go down to 4.9. Index and index 2. Two images. That's nice. Again, it's our Trillium Media Design, different color, different skinning, if you will. Some images here on the H2, but the background goes too far, I'd say. Otherwise, looks pretty good. Style the background image. Okay, here's a background image. There's the Trillium gradient. That's that general background. Then here's this other one here, background URL Trillium foot.gif, no repeat, right bottom. So this is telling you where to start from the right and the bottom one time. Don't repeat it. And that uses this other image, the Trillium foot. Okay, nice. You can have multiple backgrounds in the body. Pretty cool. And on there, here's a class called company name. So where we have the class company name, we'll have this color. And we call that class down here, looks like. Pretty straightforward. Hope you can see that if you indent these things as you should, it's a lot easier to read. But I'm just pulling up the view source so we don't get that. Index 2, what's the difference? This looks pretty much the same. Oh, okay, keep that there. We've put the that other image in the H2 instead of in the main body. See, more than one way to skin a cat. I'm not suggesting skinning cats. It's just an expression. I'm not that sick of a person. I like cats. the Lighthouse Bistro. Ah, love this. See the rounded borders. I'm a big favor of that. A big fan of that. All right, let's see how they do that. Here's our border. Border radius, 15 pixels. The larger the number, the rounder it is. And it does it to all the sizes if you don't tell it. That's really nice. I like border radius. You can put that on just about anything. Here it's on the H1. Everything else should be stuff that you're pretty familiar with. 411. Similar, except now we put in a shadow here, and I'm guessing the wrapper. Let's see if we have a wrapper on this. Looks like a container. Here we go. It's a container ID. So then we do this. This is exactly what you want with 80%, minimum, maximum. Okay. Margin right, margin left, auto. And here's our box shadow. That makes it look really good. And then when you resize these things, it should resize. No, it didn't. It didn't resize well. Why not? What was missing? What's missing? Container is here. That's the right place. Oh, because I had the minimum and maximum. Okay, if I didn't have that, then it would resize all the way. Okay, we'll look at another one that doesn't have that. Kayak door, what you're familiar with already. Well, here we have the entire background image in this area, in this main. Looks really nice. Besides an image, I'm sure you've seen this before too. You can even have an animated GIF or a movie. You see this fairly common these days. Let's see. Here's a container, margin left, right, auto. There we go. Auto, 80%. This is the way. I still have min width. Oh, heck, okay, as long as we have the auto. We'll play with it a little bit. Box shadow. There's a header and the main. Here we have that image all in the main. So that looks good that way. Yeah, very nice. Let's see what happens when we resize. Does it look any better? No, it does not. Well, it does until we get to, yeah, smaller than the min width. Okay, and that's where you put that in. Okay. Otherwise, kind of nice. Opacity. Oh, a couple of different ways of doing opacity. This is nice. See how this is kind of translucent here, the background of fall nature hikes. Okay, so that's basically making it doing opacity. Here we have opacity done this way here as a percentage, if you will, 0.6. So notice it just does the words and the color, right? The text is also made kind of translucent. Okay, and then this should be doing pretty much the same thing. Yes, same thing, except oh, okay, it's adding the other way of doing it. This is for IE. Filter opacity, alpha opacity equals 60. Same idea. It's exactly the same thing. For 14. Oh, this is we're doing the alpha channel here. Okay, it's this one here. Same thing, using alpha channel RGBA. Okay, so you have red, green, blue, and alpha now, okay? Here's the color, here's the alpha. So red, green, blue, and alpha, which is again a transparency, 0.7. So if you're over 0.1, it would be almost transparent. If it were 0.9, it would be almost opaque. Okay. So again, several ways of doing that. 415. I don't use the hue stuff. This is, yeah, one thing I've never really bothered with. Instead of RGBA, you can use HSLA, 60%. It's just the intensity, I guess, of the hue. Same basic idea, and the A again stands for alpha. Hue, saturation, light. Is that right? Okay. All right, this is doing gradients. You see how from top, bottom, light, and dark. That's all we're doing here. This is good though. It doesn't take up much space at all. It does a real nice job. So here we go. Linear gradient to bottom. That means from top to bottom. Beginning with this color, ending with this color. And you're not repeating anything. Yeah, okay. Is there another example? Oh, radial from the center. I've really never cared a whole lot for that. So here, light color to dark color. Same kind of idea. Radial gradient beginning with this color, ending with that color. Anyway, very clever, right? When you do it this way with CSS3, it doesn't take any size at all. Okay, let's see what else do we have to look at here. Didn't. Oops. Clip origin gradient size map. Okay. Clip origin gradient size and map. Okay, got it. Clipping. Okay. So same content, same everything except the clip on this. See how we have more space here between the content and the box? And again, content, now here it goes right up against the box, but doesn't include the box. Here the content includes the box, right? Includes the dash line. So different ways of doing this. So all we're doing is the clip, content box, padding box, border box. That's all we're talking about here. And, oops, I don't need to show this, do I? And clip, gradient. Oh, gradient here is in this background. Oh, nice. The body background, right? And we still have the container auto with, okay, actually this one might be sized nicely. Let's see. It centers until it goes there, and then it stops. It'd be better if it just stopped you, period. So you couldn't get any smaller. What else is it? Size. Contain. Oh, this is how traditional way of using clip. All right. Let's look at this. Where's our image? Division background, URL, background size contained. So, okay. This is going to be in its own container. We're not repeating it. We're giving it a width and a padding. But our text goes beyond, right? Sorry, wrong one. Goes beyond. Let's look at the other ones and see how we compare them. Cover. Okay, here it covers all of it. Let's change that. It should be cover, background size, cover, not contain. And then, what's the Sedona? Oh, just showing this image here, right here. See it side by side, which is probably not what you want. And here you want it. It spreads out over the entire width of the page. And test size, background size, 100% height and width. Okay. And what else was there? Oh, map. Image maps. You need to be able to do this at the very least. Looks, image map doesn't have to be a map per se. It just needs to be an image that is broken up into pieces. In this case, we have 2 pieces. You can't really see where they are. That's not a good example. There are 2 different areas that you can click on, 2 hotspots, that when you click on them will take you to a different site. So you can see my cursor turning into the good finger here. This is going to go to Fishing Door County. And if I come up here, it's going to go to nature.org. And the question is, how did they do that? And it's all in this area here. Let's get a big look. And you need to get familiar with this. Spend an hour or so, learn how to do this. So we have to create the map. We have to give it an ID and a name, same thing. Then we define the areas. Here's the link to the where we want to go to. The shape, you have 3 different shapes. You can use a rectangle, a circle, and a polygon. You can kind of define that. And you're using basically X and Y coordinates, right? Horizontal and vertical coordinates. So you have two numbers equal 1 coordinate. And the rectangle is the easiest one to define really easily. So 2 different hotspots here. Then it's the end of the map. Then we have to actually put the image in itself and then use the map that we defined here at Fishing, right? So here we use ID, right? Because we used ID over here, ID Fishing, and give it an alt, the height and width. Now it's really important that this height and width be the same as what you used originally when you defined these coordinates. Because if it's a different size, then everything's going to be screwed up. So be very careful with that. It's one of the most common mistakes that people create these X and Y coordinates and they resize the image and it doesn't work anymore. Okay guys, you take it easy, get clear on this using style sheets this way, and shoot me an email if you got any questions. Aloha.